Let's see if it actually did what I was hoping for it to do. Sweet. And of course I didn't change the stream info. '94. Happy Monday. Making a temperature controller for my new fermentation chamber. Homebrewing. All right. Save this. Okay. That was silly. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to... Alright, I got this new toy. Unboxing it. This is what's called an ink bird. Oops. And of course I dropped it, which is awesome. An ink bird is a temperature controller right here. Once you, the way that it works is you basically set the temperature, and then it has this probe that goes on it, and there is a temperature probe on the very end of this thing right here, and it records the temperature in the room or in whatever area this this probe is in, and then when the temperature goes too low, it turns on a switch, and you can plug in whatever you want to that switch. And then when the weather goes, when the temperature goes too high, it also does the same thing, and it turns on a different switch for when it goes too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this thing up so that I bought a freezer, a chest freezer that can hold 10 gallons, like two 5-gallon buckets. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the probe inside the freezer, and then we're going to plug the freezer into the thing that we're going to make for this, so that when the temperature gets too warm, it kicks on the freezer and it starts cooling down the temperature, so that when your beer is brewing, it brews at the right temperature. And temperature control is fairly important when it comes to brewing. So I've only made one batch of beers so far. And when I took it into the guy at my local store, he basically was like, "Oh, there's two problems. The first one is it feels like it tastes like the temperature got too high during fermentation, and the second one is it tasted like there was too much oxygenation, which is like stirring too much, basically, when I was doing the bottling." And so I'm building this fermentation chamber to control the temperature to take care of one of those problems, and then the other one I'm just gonna try and be better about. But this is it. So there's a lot of pieces to this here. Basically, you need a plug to plug this into the wall. That's weird. So we went to Home Depot. We bought all this stuff. And everything here, like the whole thing all combined, this thing's $15. It's not super expensive, and it comes with the temperature probe. This cord was actually one of the most expensive parts. This cord was about $10, and all it is a 3-prong cord. It's very important that you have 3 prongs because you're going to be plugging like a freezer into this. So you definitely want to make sure that you have that neutral ground. And then it's just bare wire here on the end, so that we can hook it up to whatever we want to. Next is the box that we're going to put all this stuff in. And my screwdriver so you can see that it's just an empty box. Right here. Get all of these taken out. And you'll notice that this, well, I'll show you in just a second, but this box has nothing, no holes in it right now. So we're not going to just shove everything in this box. We're actually going to cut holes in it and mount the temperature gauge right here so that you can actually see the temperature on the outside of the box. And then you'll also see it has these mounting brackets right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the wall in the garage next to the actual freezer that I have sitting out there. And then that's it. It's just an empty box like that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole in here so we can mount this thing perfectly in here. You know, oh, I messed with the camera. Whoops. I had it sitting on there quite lightly. There we go. But yeah, so we're going to mount this in here. And then to plug everything in, just a plug, right? So this will be mounted down here. This will be mounted inside here. And both of these will sink through this whole thing so that they're actually on the inside. We're going to cut the holes here with a Dremel. We're going to make a nice big mess. This thing right here already has, if I can figure out how to do it. Come on. I know it comes off because I've done it before. Oh, I get it. You have to take this off first. Okay. And then the last part of this is all the wire that we'll need in order to wire everything up in here. And lastly, my Dremel. My Dremel so that we can cut all the holes and everything. And at some point I'm going to have to get a drill because we're going to have to feed this power cord through here. So I will look at that at some point. But right now, yeah, I just want to get these things out of here and break it all down so that we're ready to go. And then we're going to look at the wiring diagram to make sure that we get it all set up correctly. That should be it. Set this over here. And then this is super simple as well. You literally just push the wires in there, and then if you can see inside here, there's these little screws, and you just screw them down. And so I got to go get the screwdriver for this, the little bitty screwdriver, because there's no way that, well, maybe I can get this to fit through there. No, this is still too big. Okay, so I'm going to have to run up and grab the screwdriver, and then we're going to take these things off, like that. Just going to make a nice little pile of stuff over here that we don't want to lose. And that's it. It's a pretty simple little project, I hope. And that's it. All right. I am going to take about 2 minutes. I'm going to run up, I'm going to get my drill so we can drill a hole in this to feed the wire through. And then I'm going to get the screwdriver so that we can actually screw these together. And then we're going to take a look at the actual wiring diagram that is provided by this thing. And like I said, it's not, there's just not a whole lot to do in here. So hopefully it won't be that difficult to get it all set up. All right, I will be back in like, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes. I'm just going to grab my drill and a screwdriver. Here we go. Okay. This is my favorite little pen right here. It's not a pen. It's actually a very small little screwdriver. On one side it's got that, and on the other side it's got this. I don't remember where I bought this. It was like a $2 buy at a kiosk. Checking out one day, which was pretty cool. And it has served me so well for all of these little electronics projects and whatnot. It's like the perfect size for all the screws that go into like a Raspberry Pi and whatnot. Almost certain I got this like at the checkout stand at like a Home Depot or an Ace or something. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's do the hard part first. Let's cut the holes in this. I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit. And I'm gonna say, let's cut the holes in this. And I want to be careful here because I bought this little cover. I want to make sure that the cover is going to fit on here nicely and not cover any of the holes. Right, so that's like a good spot for it right there. And then the Inkbird itself, the only thing I want to do on this is make sure that we cut it to like exactly the right length, because I don't want it to be too long. Here's the manual. Probably shouldn't lose the manual. Alright, so what we're going to do is take a little pen. See if this one still works. Yep. And we're going to cut the size exactly for this. What I'm trying to do is draw on here. Okay. So I think I want this as basically as high as possible in the box, just to make the most amount of room. I'm not super concerned about it being centered or anything like that. Like, the aesthetics here aren't incredibly important. I think I'm just gonna say, okay, there's that. Oh, you know what? Is this thing the right size? I think it's almost the right size. I'm looking to see if... So this is a little bit longer. But the width is correct. So let's go like this. You can always make the hole bigger, but you cannot make it smaller. Alright, I do know I want it to be a little bit bigger than this. Not very good at this. Also, you should be aware that I am not a professional. Okay, we're gonna put the hole right here, right here. Okay. I think we're gonna go like right here, right here, and then as far as width, I don't want to go too far on this. So right here, right here, right here, right here. Okay, and then we draw these. Let's draw these. And then verticals. Okay. All right. And all right, so now we have, this is for this, and it'll still give us plenty of space to screw it in. And then this one is for this, and almost certainly we're gonna have to like increase the size of this one, but that's fine. I would rather have to, like I said, increase the size than try to shrink it, because that's really difficult. All right. This little bitty screw goes in here. Trash goes in the trash. Actually, I'm going to move all this stuff down here. So we're going to make a mess. Now my favorite tool, the Dremel. Find a plug. That might actually be harder. My plugs are under the desk. Give me just a second. So down here under the desk, I keep a power bar, like a really, really long power bar. It's the entire width of the desk. It's got about 12 or 13 plugs on it. Let's just see. Yeah. All right. Tool. I'm not sure how many things I have left that can actually cut this. None of these, none of these. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. This one seems to be a little, must have cut something weird with it. Yeah, this one's like, it's got this ring around it. That ring's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to look like this the whole way around. I'm not sure what I actually cut with that. But we're going to go ahead and start with that because it's the biggest one that I've got besides this one. I'm not entirely sure what this one is for, to be quite frank. But so we're going to start with this one and see where we get. Am I tightening or loosening? Loosening. Okay. All right. It's probably gonna get smoky. You can see we're through. It is abundantly clear to me at this point that I should be wearing safety goggles, so I will be right back. All right, safety goggles. Okay. 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 At the end, I'm just going to get a file and file all this stuff off, so I'm not worried about it all building up. I'm more concerned that I made a huge mess of it. I might actually paint it now to get rid of that. But this is still looking pretty good. Okay, one more. And there we go. That's pretty hot. One down. Let me get that file and just start grinding it. Let it cool down. Okay. I'm going to cut the big pieces off. So I don't actually care how like dirty it looks. You know, at the end of the day, we're going to cover all of this up, and like I said, I think I'm probably going to paint it. I just want it to be flat enough so that when this goes and sits down in it, which we can almost do. Oh, I'm actually liking this. Let's take these screws out. Come on. Just take a second. So we're going to take these off for now. Okay, if we hold this. There we go. And screw these in. Okay. And hopefully it just sits down. Oh, one more to screw in. That's hard. Let's do the flat one. There we go. And then ideally, yeah, see, it just sits down in there like that. Might have to wire it before we actually put it in there, which is fine. So we'll wire it up, and then we'll get it to sit down in there, and then we'll just cover it up, and it'll look pretty again. So we just need to worry about these little bits. see this. There we go. And there we go. I think that's good enough for that one. So let's clean this up a little bit. Put that piece away. All right. Make sure we vacuum when we're all done. Now let's cut this other hole. This other hole is much more important to get the correct size because there's not a lot of overlap. Like there's not a thing to cover it to clean it up. So we're just gonna take our time with it, do it nice and slow. And that is why you have safety goggles on. Because it just tore off right in there. Wow. That's going to be really difficult to get out if I don't get it out right now. Okay. Yikes. Okay. I'm just going to take a little break on that. Oh, it's not coming off. That's not good. Okay. I'm not sure what to do about that. Let's get a bigger one. It's the answer to everything. If it doesn't work with a small one, get a bigger one. Does this have a bigger one? No, it has a smaller one. Let's just see if there's another one. Not in here. Here we go. I'm trying to take the tip of the Dremel bit out, so we can now replace it with a new one. And we're just going to use this one. Oh, come on. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Let's get back to it. Let's put all this down here. Okay, in hindsight, it would have been a better idea to do this from the back so that all the buildup was on the inside. But, you know, live and learn. Alright, this is almost through. Okay. Let's try putting it in from here and see if it fits. Okay, good. The answer is no, it doesn't, which means we're fine. We need it to be a little bit wider. and it seems like my hole is a little bit tapered on one side, like it's smaller over here than it is over here. So I need to clean that up. But overall, I think it was a good start. Still super hot. All right, this is super close. All right, let's clean this up. Got quite the mess going. Okay. Let's see if we can get it in there now. Clean all this junk out. No, not quite. There we go. All right, let's clean it up just a little bit down here. For the last bit, we're just going to use an actual sander. No, none in here. Whoa, that is not safe at all. Yeah, that's not safe. Okay. Oh, seriously? What can I use to get in there? Give me, right now I'm trying to just square off the corners because that's the part that's not fitting. Yay! All right, and that fits. Ah, that was hard enough. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of something to clean up. I think that's gonna be it for the Dremel. I think that's it for the Dremel. I made a hell of a mess. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to get the rest cleaned up later. This is good for now. Actually, this is not good for now. Crazy. All right. To latch it in here, you just slide these on. There's one side. There's the other side. And now that's good. That's not coming out. All right, next thing we need to do, drill the holes for this thing so that we can mount it once we're done. And for this, we're just going for like little pilot holes. We're not super concerned about like finding a good size or anything like that. We just don't want to be bigger than the screw is. There's one. And two. Close that up. All right, last hole we need is for the box itself. We need a hole right in the bottom to feed the wire up through. The wire is pretty thick here, so I'm going to go ahead and just use a really big hole because I don't care if there's a little space. I'm not worried. Like if I ever want to get to the point of like stopping air from getting in there, then I can just like hot glue around it or something. But yeah. Let's get a nice big one. We're gonna go with a 1/4. Okay. And I think that's it for the holes. Assuming we can actually get the wire in there, which I can. Perfect. All right. Now, this thing right here. We're going to feed a lot of wire through, and then we're going to tie it in a knot. And the reason for this knot is so that we can pull it nice and tight. And if for some reason a kid comes and jerks on this or something, it's not going to rip apart everything that's in here. Hello? What? Streaming?
Are you streaming?
Yeah.
We want a Yeti cooler.
From what?
From the Nature's Outlet store.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a big one?
Like, I mean, I think it's a regular size one.
That's cool.
I know, I gotta go pick it up.
That's awesome.
I was like, what? Does anyone want to?
Not really, but it's okay.
And you're not live.
Yes, I am.
Did you just go
Here's
live?
no, I've been live for an hour. Yeah.
I just looked for you.
Oh, well, you didn't find me. All right.
You won't.
Now we need to wire this thing up, get it in here, put the cover on, and we'll be good to go. And then all we have to do is figure out how to get all this stuff to actually fit inside the box. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Hopefully. Okay. All right. So, all right, on this thing, how does this work exactly? One side is supposed to be ground. One side is supposed to be... I don't think it really matters. Okay. Okay. Alright, I think you're supposed to break off the tab on one side of this thing. I just have to figure out how to do that. Maybe using these new tools that I just bought. Maybe. It's not super clear. I don't want to break the... I'm going to Google this because I don't know how to do this. Let's go. I am Googling for how to break the tab on an electrical outlet. There we go. Not replace. How to replace. What does breaking the tab? I know that breaking it on the hot copper side allows one receptacle to be controlled via switch while keeping the other always hot. Breaking the tab on the neutral side does the exact same thing as the hot side. It separates one terminal and neutral from the other. I can't imagine a scenario where only neutral would be cut. Okay.
Unwrap and connect your new phone in minutes.
No.
With a little help from Google.
No, just skip this, please. Man, YouTube is having trouble lately.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. If extreme sound.
Oh, you know what this is? This is my red.
Automated phone plan. He could snap and share his endless bag of tricks. Nice. Nice.
Maybe.
Send it. With unlimited data for as low as $45 per month. With a little help from Google Fi.
Hey, my name is Ben. Stopping by. We're doing a split.
God, come on, Google. I don't know, are you supposed to just use like needle nose or something? Oh wait, I think I got it. Okay, it just got a whole lot easier to move. You know, YouTube sucks. It's just not working today. It's probably my internet, honestly. Alright, tab broken. You can see we broke this little bitty tab off. There's one on this side. We broke the tab off so that we can hook a hot up to each side, but the neutrals are still going to be the same. I'm sorry, not the neutrals, the grounds are still going to be the same. And now what we need is the wire. Okay. So what this thing says is the temperature gauge, we don't hook up to anything else. The green wire in the box right here needs to go to the green wire, needs to go to this. And then the black wire needs to go to the side that we did not break. And then I need two new, oh, and then the black wire also needs to go to into here. Which is fine. Okay. Alright, to avoid using extra... Alright, so we're going to put the green wire on here. We're going to put the black wire on here. And then this white wire. I need to cut this open. It'd be great if I could just have more here. Maybe I won't cut them open. Maybe I'll just splice them on. Okay. It's really frustrating that they make you like hook up these lines to all of these different things independently. It would be great if they didn't do that. Alright, we know we need 1, 2, 3, 4 wires coming off of this. And then we can put it in here. And then it's just about splicing it all together. So let's get our 4 wires coming off of this. Okay. Here's the wire. to put this away real fast so I can clean up my office. Now, how much of this are we going to need? We need looking at the instructions again. Maybe we ought to just do this one at a time. I know that the neutral wire, okay, start with the easiest ones first. Yes. There we go. Give me the... No, see, that's what I was trying to avoid. I don't want that to happen. There we go. There we go. Nice and tight on it. Okay. So that part is done. Easy enough. Now we need one piece of black wire. Which is going to go from here. It's just going to go from here. Oh, okay, I get it. All right, we do just need one black wire. Actually, we need two. We have one that's going to go into here, and one that's going to go into here. Okay, now this is 14 gauge. Okay. And this goes on the side that stays attached. Since this one's already loose, we'll put it on this one. And then we need 2 pieces of white wire. Hey, hooking it to a relay. No, I'm hooking it to this thing called an ink bird. And I don't know if these are relays on the back or not. They're probably they're switches of some sort of electronic switch, which I guess is a relay. So this is gonna sit down in here like this. And then this will be the temperature control. Oh, this will be the temperature controller. This will be where the plugs are. And I'm just trying to wire it up before I put it in here because the screws don't quite come all the way through on the inside. So I need to wire it before I stick it in here. And then after that, we're gonna cram it all into this box. And then we're gonna try it out and see if it works. All right, so we need two pieces of all right, we've done the neutral. No, that's the earth. We've done the earth. We've done the neutral. We need a second neutral to go into this, to go into here. And then we need a lot. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of white wire. That's a lot. I guess they don't all have to be white, but it certainly makes it easier. Alright, for starters, we're going to do 2 on this. Alright, one side of these needs to be kind of long and the other side needs to not be very long at all. I do light shows using a Raspberry Pi and it uses the same thing. You can break off the tab that connect the screws together on each side and allows you... Right, so that's what we just figured out. I broke the tab off of that side and I left the neutral connected. I'm sorry, the neutral. 2 plugs operate independently from each other. Smart using 14 gauge instead of 12 or 10. It's a little more bendy and forgiving. Cool. Thanks for joining. I have never done anything like this before. This is a first for me. But I'll bring it in when we're all done. But or maybe I'll get the laptop and take it out there. But yeah, there's a chest freezer out there. And we're going to hook up the temperature gauge, and then I'll show you all of the like fermentation equipment and whatnot a little later on. Okay. Here's one. Let's be consistent. What kind of light shows do you do? Christmas lights. Nice. That's awesome. You don't happen to have a video? Oh no. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. I used videos to do mine YouTube and stumbled through, but I know what I'm doing, and I thought about doing some. That's cool. Alright. Let's get these in here. And then I'm super pumped because then it's all gonna like be together. Okay. What if I put it on this side first? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. No. Stay in there. Yeah. I appreciate you doing the stream. My patience, I believe, wouldn't allow me to work on a project and also take time to stop and read all my comments. Thanks. No, I appreciate you. This is all a learning experience for me. All right. Now we put it in here. Now we screw it down. Allegedly. I might have to make these holes bigger. I'm gonna have to make these holes bigger. Too big. See if that goes in there now. Trying to see if this will... Yeah, I think we can get that in there. Do this other hole. Ah! Put it in the close one first. So I can actually hold it. I don't want to break it. It's going in pretty tight. Okay. Woo, be careful. It really does not want to screw in here. I imagine once it gets through, it'll be a whole lot easier. But man, is it fighting right now. I should have made this whole one bigger. Wow, that is hard. That's hard to screw in. I'm like gonna strip the screw if I'm not careful. Alright, I'm gonna make the holes bigger. Oh no, I can't get it out. Oh, of course not. Okay, let's figure it out. Just figure it out. It's still tight. Wow. Oh, okay, that's so much easier though. I just touched the screw coming out the other side, and it is on fire. I mean, it is so hot from being forced through this plastic. I really should change the way I'm sitting to make it easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, one down. Now we just got to get this thing out of here. without breaking it, which is going to be difficult. Oh man. I have a feeling we're just going to be one screw down. I mean, I've completely stripped this screw. It's alright, I'm pretty sure I have another one somewhere. Oh wait, there we go. Oh, come on, you're almost done. Wow. Incredible. Okay. Bigger hole. Wow, I bent the screw. That's how hard it was. Alright, I'm gonna go get another screw. I've got one right outside. Okay. Hey, go figure. Goes in a whole lot easier. Again, touch the screw and it's on fire. Okay. And there we go. All right. These, one goes into the cold. One goes into the hot. And that's not like cold and hot in electrical terms. That's like literally turning the freezer on or turning the heating element on. That ironically is sitting inside the freezer. Okay. So let's get the little screwdriver out. Loosen these up. Um, Okay. We should just be able to somehow jam this in there. Maybe I'm gonna have to. Maybe I'm gonna have to get a little tighter about that. All right, two things. One is we need to loosen it even more, and the second one is we need to cut off a little bit of this wire to make it nice and short and not stick out. And then we just tighten the wire with it in there. There we go. Same thing with this one. Cut off just a little bit. Stand to bend it just a little. There we go. Put it directly down in there. Tighten it up. Sounds counterintuitive to have a heating element. So so it's a freezer. I don't want the temperature to be freezing. I want the temperature to be more like 70 degrees or 68. And then sometimes you want the temperature to be more like 40. So you put a heater in there, and I got something rattling around now. How did I seriously? Okay. So you put a heating element in there, and you put I mean, it is a freezer, so a cooling element in a sense. And the idea being that when the beer gets too cold, you heat it up, and when it gets too hot, you cool it down. So you don't want it to do either. When beer is brewing, it generates quite a bit of heat. So if you only have a cooling element, you're probably okay. But it also gets quite cold here in the winters, and I just don't want it to get to a point where you leave it in here for like 2 weeks and it needs to stay at that temperature for an entire 2 weeks. So I don't want it to be like really good for the first like few days, and then for the last few days it's not. All right, that actually looks pretty good to me. We've got one that goes to the cooling. We should label these. All right, cooling, heating. And I don't have a good way to label them right now. I don't have a good way to label them. So I think I'm just going to put a little C and an H. There we go. a little H and a little C. And then let's just verify that. Yes, cooling is on the bottom. Heating is on the top. Okay. And then I'll figure out a better way to label that later. All right. Now, the box. I need this black to go to here and also to here. I need this white to go to here, here, and here. And I need this green to go to here. So I need 1, 2, 3 whites and 1 black. And I think for these, let's just, go too long. There's the black. There's the white. There's 1 white. I'm just not good at this. Okay. There's 2. And there's 3. Alright, once again, we need to strip these. One side, not very much at all. One side, kind of a lot. Enough to Alright, one side. Not very much at all. Oh, come on. One side, kind of a lot. One side, not very much at all. And one side, kind of a lot. Okay, and then one side, not very much at all. And one side, kind of a lot. Alright. Now these all stick out of here. So we want to unscrew all of them. Oh, we don't want to do those yet. Those are the temperature controller. The temperature sensor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Wait. Make it nice and tight. Make them all nice and tight. 2. got to cut a little bit off of this one. Loosen that up a bit more. There we go. Okay. No, I want this on the other side. Come on. There we go. And then this one goes right here. And again, I want to cut just a hair off of it. All right. Now I need to bend all of these wires down so that I can put the protector on, which is right here. There we go. And then the only thing I need to do is screw all these together. Which is what these are for. I want 2 of these. I have some smaller ones. And 1 of these. All right. Okay. I think these white wires will be up, and these black wires will be all right here. Okay. These don't seem to be catching. Get out of the way. Oh, there we go. And then all the white wires need to go together. As difficult as that is going to be. It's kind of hard crapping all these 4 wires together, to just be frank. And that's it. That's the whole thing. No, it's not. And I jumped the gun. Gotta get the temperature sensor in there as well. And ideally, once we plug this in, we get an actual reading. That makes sense. I need this one to be more like down here. Okay. Gonna have to cut these. Loosen them. Okay. The neutrals, whites should all be fine together, but the blacks from the plug and the same wire nut. The neutrals should all be fine together, but the blacks from the plug in the same wire nut as the black from the relay. So this is also providing power to the unit itself. And that's what these are for. The rest of these are just like pass-through switches. So this is just like, it acts as a cutoff in the middle here, I guess. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time. I'm going to plug this in real fast. I'm going to see if it actually turns on. If it doesn't, you know, we'll be streaming about it this afternoon to fix it. I can't read Celsius. Great. What's 24 Celsius? .24 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Yeah, 75.2. That's perfect. That's absolutely about what temperature it is in here. You can see it sort of counting up here. There's a little point in there. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see the point. There it goes. And I absolutely believe that's about the correct temperature in here. It's pretty warm. All right, this was perfect. I now just need to like figure out how to cram it all down in this box. And that's going to be it. But I have to run and go pick up my daughter from school. So thank you, everybody, for coming and joining. I really appreciate it. Sergeant Winkle, thanks so much for actually hanging out and chatting, too. I really appreciate that. It's a lot more fun than just sort of grinding away on a thing. And, yeah, I will be around pretty much all week. grinding away on various things. I do software development usually, and this is just like a little hobby project. But yeah, hopefully I'll see y'all later this week. Have a good one.